It's been something that's led the headlines for months prior to, and today really leading the headlines. Lance Armstrong finally dealing with the allegations and confessing to the use of drugs over the course of his career and lots of his titles. It has been interesting, and the discussion has been overwhelming. Joining us on our panel, John Brenner, Candace Codi Jeffries, joining us from upstairs. Okay, finally comes out with it. He does this big interview for Oprah, now going to slated to air on Thursday night on her own network. First of all, will you watch? Do you have interest?
I do, simply because I'm in media, and it's what people are talking about. So I have to watch, regardless of what I feel about Armstrong, and because I want to hear what he has to say. I want to see him say. This goes back to Tom Cruise, by the way. No, seriously. Okay, and by the way, this could rehabilitate Lance. It'll be a baby step toward his rehabilitation. You can call me wrong on this a year from now, but we'll see what happens. But I do want to hear what he has to say for himself, and I want to hear the confession, because after all, he did tell us for so long that the only thing he was on was his bicycle.
And it was ridiculous, the amount, the way he fought it, the types of people he brought in, all of these things to finally, and years of this in court battles, to finally just say, yeah, you know what, I did it. Is it something that surprised you? Are you interested in seeing what he had to say about all of this, or do you care?
It's not really surprising to me. What's surprising is how he was able to deny it for so long. And now people are saying, well, is he going to be genuine in his apology? I am interested in it because Oprah is one of the best people in the world to interview people on hard topics like that. There's just something about her that she's able to bring out emotions in people. So I am interested in it from that aspect. It's not really surprising to me anymore. No.
Do you question why he's done it now? Like, why now?
Why so many years? Why is it taking so long?
Because I think he's lost everything. Like, he's lost all the sponsorships. He's lost all the deals. Maybe his money is going south. I don't know. Maybe he's questioning his own guilt. I don't know. But somewhere along the line, you do have to come out and say, you know what, I was wrong. I have to apologize.
I mean, people have been expecting this and saying, why didn't you do it originally when you had all of your team members, all of your staff, everyone saying, listen, we have documentation. They had a 1,000-page documentation on him, and yet he was still fighting these allegations. That people are now going after him, though. There's already the start of people that are saying, listen, we paid you millions of dollars to come out and endorse this and to come to our event. They're looking for compensation.
Yeah, well, you know, as the gold plating falls away, which is what has happened to him, what for him personally was a moral issue, and he thought, well, okay, I've, you know, it's out, the cat's out of the bag, but now that the financial reality is hitting him, those repercussions he has to deal with. And I think, again, by going public in this way, he has to have some form of contrition if he's going to get away with as much as he can get away when it comes to compensation, when it comes to all of these people that are going to be going after him for some type of compensatory damages. And you know, what I really think is key about this Oprah appearance, and you said it because she is a hardball interviewer, but he is also speaking to an audience, a live audience that he's never talked to before, not his fans. Okay, because you go to all these news conferences where Lance, it's all Armstrongites that are in the audience outside of the reporters. These people are not his fans. They're a selected audience. But they are not his fans, and I think that's important, and I think it'll be interesting to watch their reaction and his reaction to them. Is there
audience members involved in this?
Well, when it's presented, he has to be aware of what is taking place, and the people that are going to see this and hear this and talk about it. This is a completely different Lance Armstrong.
He went actually before and prior to the interview to speak with his staff at the Livestrong at his headquarters, where this was this wonderful charitable aspect of what it is that he did. Do you feel bad in terms of the positive side for the cancer world that he was in, that he fought back testicular cancer, and he was able to do all these things and raise all this money, that there's an apology owed to what this foundation has been able to do?
I think there's just good people who work at that foundation in general, so I think
they were in it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate.
But you don't want that to suffer, because there was research, there was funding, there were things that were being done on that end.
And I don't think it should. I think that's the good thing that he did, and we have to look past the bad that he did and denials and whatever he did the past few years and look at something good that he did. Something good always comes out of something bad.
Would you say, now I look at this and I look at the Tiger Woods, and you know, you've got these big stories of people that so many people idolize, and then it's finally to see the fall. At this point, do we stop putting that pressure and idolizing these sports heroes as much as we do? Because inevitably, sometimes there's always going to be another side to the story.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've always idolized people. I mean, before popular media, even if you grew up in a small town, there was always the big tuna in the small town, and as soon as you found out something nasty about them, they weren't the big tuna anymore. Now we have electronic media that says, you're the star of the second. You're the star of the second now. I don't want to bring us all into a place that we might feel uncomfortable, but it really is, and I never said this first, but I will repeat it, it is hard to find the moral high ground when largely we're all standing in the mud. Because at some point we are.
The one thing I said, we were talking this morning with some of the staff, is I said, at this point, why doesn't the entire sport of cycling just say, we are a sport that functions with drugs? And unfortunately, that is what we do to be able to get through these long, incredibly difficult things on the Tour de France. And this is what our sport is made up of. You can either sponsor us, support us, watch us, but this is how we function. And then the overall people just have the expectation that they're doing this. Because, as you're saying, there's so much of everything going on around us anyway to maybe just kind of break open the umbrella. Yeah. They kind of looked at me like I was a little dose, but
he won't be the last, I'm sure of it.
You know, there have been times when I'm in a car driving late at night and I feel that I shouldn't be. I know I shouldn't be. So what do? I stop and have a real big drink of coffee, and off I go. So I stimulated myself, crossed my fingers, and hoped for the best.
Seems like there's a lot of people doing a little bit of that every now and then. Interesting topic we'll be watching as the interview comes out, and what he was disclosed over that 2.5 hours that he spoke with Oprah. That's going to air on Thursday. Thanks so much to our panel for joining us.